let's get straight into it. At the end of this video, you will know how to scale your local service business, whether it's pressure washing, auto detailing, or painting, to $10,000 plus a month using only Fliers. For those of you who don't know, my name is Rayan. I built my pressure washing business to $100,000 in total sales my first 4 months in business. By month 3, we scaled to $27,000 a month. And I'm making this YouTube channel to help other people grow their business and document my journey at trying to build an 8-figure company. So let's get straight into it. So first we have, as you can see here, how to scale to $10,000 a month with only Fliers, right? So first, there's some important numbers we need to know about our business before we can do this. So this is an important number you'll need to know if you want to hit $10,000 a month or beyond with your business using any way of marketing. So let's say your average sale is, let's say you're doing auto detailing or pressure washing. Let's just say it's $300, right? To keep it simple, which is pretty low. But if you're starting out, it probably won't be too uncommon for you. We'll say $300. So average sale is $300, and you need to know what's your goal. So we put $10,000 a month, right? So how many of these sales do we need to hit $10,000 a month? We just got to hop in our calculator. We take our goal, which is $10,000, and we divide it by $300, our average sale. We get 33 sales. So we need to hit 33, we'll say 34 because it's 33.33. So 34 sales a month per month. So 34 sales a month with our average sale being $300 will get us to that $10,000 a month goal, right? So what we have to, the next number we have to understand is, so this is what we need to hit. This is how many sales we need to hit with $300 being our average sale, our most common sale, etc. Now we need to understand our marketing vehicle to actually get there, which is Fliers. So I'll give you some numbers on Fliers, right? Fliers, on average, a good number to hit for Fliers is a 0. A good number to hit for Fliers is a 0.25% response rate. So that's 0.25%. We'll put RP. 0.25% response rate. Now, this is important. So now what does this mean? This means that for every 400 Fliers we put out, we are looking to get about roughly 1 call back. So if we put out 1 out of 400 people call us, 1 out of every 400 people call us. So 400 Fliers equals 1 call, right? 400 Fliers equals 1 call. Now, if someone's calling you off a flyer, that means they're pretty interested. So you should be able to close at least, I'd say 75 to 80% of people who call you off a flyer probably ready to buy, and they're probably, Fliers, if someone calls you off a flyer, they have a higher closing rate because that shows they're interested. If they took the time to actually call you off their flyer, this is compared to just throwing it in the trash, which is what most people do, including me, when they get a flyer. So you can have a higher closing rate, but at the same time, it takes a lot of Fliers to just get 1 call back. So we'll come down here and we'll put, let's say, 75% close rate on Fliers, right? Which is it's kind of in the middle. It really depends for you, but we'll just go with these numbers, right? So if you want to hit, so now now that we have these numbers, we can reverse engineer our goals. So let's come down here. We'll use purple. So if 400 people gets us 1 call and we close 75% of calls, what does that mean? We have our goal, which is 34 jobs. If you come up here, right, we needed to hit 34 sales a month to hit $10,000. So let's put down 34 sales, right? And we can divide this, divided by 0.75. 0.75. So we can come down here, we can take 34, put on your calculator, divided by your closing rate. Maybe you already had the data, it's higher or lower for you. Maybe you don't, you can just use these round numbers. If you want to be even more conservative, make that number to 0.5. So we have 45 calls from Fliers, gets us our goal of 34 sales. Right? It takes us 400 Fliers to get one call. So 45 calls, 45 times 400 Fliers per call equals what? So we take our 45, we multiply it by 400, we get 18,000. So that's how many Fliers it's going to cost. So equals our grand total of roughly 18,000 Fliers, which is a lot of Fliers. So now that we know our numbers, what are the actionable steps that I have for you to be able to hit your first $10,000 a month using just Fliers? Well, step one, what you got to do is you got to, first, what I want you to do is do this math that I told you here, right? So do the math for you, figure out your average sale, and then you can use these numbers that I already put. So a 0.25% response rate is a good metric, pretty solid metric to hit for Fliers. So that's 1 out of every 400 Fliers you put will get you one call. You can play with this from 50 to 75% close rate off Fliers, depending on your industry and what you're charging. 75%, 50 to 75% is a good range. You can get a range just to be on the safe side. So do the math, figure out what this end number is for you. Again, you want to take your 0.25% response rate, and then you want to take your goal. So let's say $10,000 a month divided by your average sale. That's how many sales you need a month. Then you want to figure out your close rate. You can use 50 or 75%. Take your sales and divide it by your close rate, and that's how many calls, or that's how many calls you need. That's how many calls you need to hit your sales target. And then you take how many calls you need and you multiply by 400 Fliers to get one call roughly, which is this is how many Fliers you need. So here's step by step what you need to do in order to hit your first $10,000 month, right? Step one is go put out a test round of 5,000 Fliers. So go test 5,000 Fliers. Go test out 5,000 Fliers, order them a certain way, certain color, have someone design it for you. I'll put a link, it's an affiliate link, to uzmarketing.com, which is the #1 site if you need business cards, if you need flyers, if you need door hangers, if you need yard signs, whatever. Cheapest prices on the internet, best place to go. This is where I get all my stuff, including business cards. Anything you need, go in the description. I'll put a link for them there. Best place to order any of your printed stuff. So you're gonna they'll even design a flyer for you for I think a small fee, and their design work is pretty good. So 5,000 Fliers, and what you want to do is get 5,000 Fliers of a certain design or test. This is just a test. And you want to make sure you're hitting that 0.25% response rate, right? So 0.25% response rate. So what does that mean? That's going to be about, you want to go for at least, when you put up 5,000 Fliers, you want to get at least 12 calls back, roughly. So 12 to 13, anywhere from 10 to 15 calls back means the Fliers are good design. People are biting on them, they're good. So put up 5,000 Fliers, you want to get at least 10 to 15 calls. That's how you know the Fliers aren't bad, they're good. Then the next step, all you got to do is, so that's step one, right? Now step two, let's say, is this good? So you want to put a little checkbox. Is this good? If yes, go down here, step two. Step two is put out 20,000 or whatever your number is, right? So put out 20,000 or whatever the number you got up here was, 18,000, 20,000, whatever it is, put it out, and then that's all you got to do. If, let's say, you did not get 10 to 15 calls from these 5,000 Fliers, and go back, go order a new set of 5,000 Fliers, change the design up, and then figure out what went wrong, why don't people like them, split test different stuff, test different colors, different designs, do all that stuff until you get back a decent response rate on this. I mean, you don't have to go too hard on this, but if you get no calls back from your 5,000 flyers, you did something wrong. Only if you get 2 or 3, depending on what you're selling. Maybe depends on your industry, but 0.25% response rate is a pretty good across all industries metric to hit. So you want to try to go for, if you're putting out that many flyers and you don't get at least 10 calls, there's probably something wrong with your flyer, what you're selling, or I don't know. But figure that out. And then once you hit that, come down to step 2. And then step 3 is, I'll even give you guys like a little more sauce. Step 3, right? Let's say you've done that and you've gotten your $10,000 and you want to do it again. Now split test again. So you already have a winning flyer, right? So split test more. So you already have a winning flyer, right? So I'll just draw 2 flyers here so you can get a really good idea of what I mean. So you have 2 flyers. And now this one, let's say this is the one you put out 20,000, you hit your 10,000 or whatever, right? This is what I want you to do. Print out another 20,000, keep half original, so we'll put original, and then make half new. Meaning change one thing, not a bunch of things. Don't change the whole flyer. You could, but maybe instead of making the text one color, instead of now of it being, let's say, black text, make it like orange. Right? Make the text orange. Or maybe you make the background blue. Something like that. Split test one thing. Pick one variable, the color of the text, color of the background. Maybe you put the phone number at the top instead of the bottom. Pick one thing like that and change it. And then put out 10,000 flyers. And then what you want to do is head over to a website like CallRail. Right? Make a free, it's not free, they give you a free trial. Make an account with CallRail if you really want to get dialed in, be an A player, top 1% business stuff, is do stuff like this. Get on CallRail and then make a free get a free trial or pay for it after the free trial. Get a tracking number with them. And you want to put one number, here, phone number, one number here, one phone number here. Maybe this is you want to put your regular phone number here that people use to call you. And then on CallRail, you want to get a second number, right? This is called a tracking number. When they'll give you a phone number, and when people call that phone number, it will be redirected to you. But using their software, you'll be able to see how many people called that tracking number, right? So that's going to be your second number. So number 2. Right? It's going to be your second number that you get from here. So you got your regular number, and then you got your tracking number from CallRail, and this lets you see which flyer people are actually calling. So let's say, hypothetically, you put out another 20,000 flyers. You keep half one way, and you change 1 or 2 variables on the second one. And let's say you get, 80% of your calls are coming from this flyer where you put the tracking number. Well, now you know that this design or style of flyer is what really works. It works better than this one. So then, but you can't do that without the data, because if you have 2 different flyers, you won't know. People are going to forget. They're going to call your flyer, throw them out. You might forget to ask. It's good to track this data. See which flyers people are responding to. That's what all marketing is about, getting people to respond and buy. So once you have that data, and let's say you've determined that your second style of flyer is doing better, then what you want to do is I want you to do it a third time, right? Come over here, and then grab another flyer, and then change one thing from the new flyer you made. So instead of the background being purple, make it blue, and then make the text yellow, right? Something like that. Change another 1 or 2 variables on it, and then same thing. Grab that tracking number. Grab that tracking number from CallRail, keep it on this flyer that you already got, and then maybe you throw your phone number. Maybe you throw your phone number over here, right? Instead of that one. Boom. So now you put your regular phone number on this one, and then you keep the tracking number on here, and then let's say this one does better, you get 80% of calls here using the data. Okay, change another one or two variables on it. Split test 2 flyers and then use a tracking number just so you can track the data, because data is super important. So I hope you guys found this video useful. I'll put a link down below to UZ Marketing, where I get all my printed stuff. It is the best place to order your stuff, best prices, fast delivery. Check it out. Hit subscribe if you run a local service business, pressure washing, auto detailing, gutter cleaning, whatever, and you want more videos on how to actually get more customers, make more money, and build a big business. Thank you.